Hello everyone, this is Flammy, and we're back with another subscriber base review. So we're here with my 10th subscriber base review, and we're back with Town Hall 7. A couple new things going on today. Of course, we just had the update. So this is my first subscriber base review after the new update, which means new Wallbreaker AI is going to mean base design should probably be changing. So yeah, that's going to definitely affect what we're going to be seeing today. And I do plan on doing, well, I'll do all the town halls once again for like a second time, but I'm going to focus on the most popular ones, which is where most people are at. So that's going to be Town Hall 6, 7, and 8, especially 7, which is why we're doing it today, and then to a lesser degree 9. So that's where most of you guys are at, so I want to help out most of you guys with this. Now, if you are looking to submit your base to be in one of these videos, I am changing up how I'm doing the process, and I'll explain why. I'll do it right now real fast, and then I'll remind you guys at the end. So I used to have a form in the description of all my videos to fill out how to fill out your in-game name and your in-game clan, but I'm going to be changing this up, and let me explain why. So the problem with that was people would submit a form, and then they would go and leave their clan, or they would like when I pulled them up, I couldn't find them. Like their clan wasn't findable, or like they weren't in their clan, or the clan, there were like way too many clans by the same name, and even looking through 20 of them, I couldn't find it. And then the other problem was, once I actually found them, because these applications had been submitted days before, there was a decent chance that a base would be half destroyed. And I don't want to try to feature half destroyed base. It's just really hard to look at for you guys. So what I'm doing is this. I'm going to be making posts on my Facebook page just saying a couple hours from now I'm going to be doing a subscriber base review. If you are a Town Hall 7, post on this, comment, and give me your info, and I'll look it up. So that's what I'm doing for this. So everyone here is from my Facebook page. So you should go like my Facebook page if you haven't, and you'll be sure to see those messages. I'll try to leave them up for a couple hours before I actually do the video. I'm not going to be able to get to everyone once again, but I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. Alright, here we are with Redrum, our very first Town Hall 7. So, I'm pretty familiar with Town Hall 7s, considering that, well, Derpy has been Town Hall 7 for a good long time. This base certainly seems a bit like Derpy's. The center bit looks like Derpy's old base with the 3 mortars. The 4 buildings upgrading here, and then the cannon up here. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, the good news is you are pretty low in the trophy count, but the bad news is it looks like you got a lot of resources. So you've got about 1 million gold, so generally I would try not to have all 5 workers doing defenses at the same time, just because that means that's 5 defenses that you can't use to defend your base, especially if 2 of them are mortars. When I'm upgrading, I generally try to do like 1 mortar at a time, maybe 2. Like if one's about to finish, I'll start a second. Same with the wizards. Try not to do too many wizards at the same time. As for the other buildings, I don't mind doing like 2 archers and a cannon as much, but a total of 5 is a little excessive. Alright, so pretty obvious where Teslas are. They're here, and they're here on the left and the right. Oh, I forgot I don't have dots on right now, so I can't point those out unless I edit them in afterwards. Alright, so we got this big long wall on the bottom left. That's interesting. I'm not sure what the point of that is. I think it might be long enough that it would attract some wallbreaker hits. The one thing that's going on well is you've got really well upgraded walls. Another good thing is you got some good traps. So traps here, 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 here. Probably all spring traps in there. Those all look like great spring traps. And the one thing you're going to want to be aware of, though, is by putting in those spring traps, you're going to be much more vulnerable to the new Wallbreaker AI. The way it works means that it's going to bust straight into the center, which means if someone's got 10 wall breakers, or even like, it would only really take 4 if none of them die in this case. If they got 4 wall breakers and a bunch of goblins, they could break into your center and get your resources pretty easily. That said, I do approve of keeping your wizards sort of spread out a little bit to cover your storages. I might put the bottom wizard, I might swap it with the clan castle. Just swapping these two would allow this wizard to protect this gold storage a bit more, as well as protect both of these an equal amount. Yeah, beyond that, it's pretty good. Make sure you don't have any dark elixir in here. Yeah, 37. That's a great, like, perfect. Keep it outside. When there's only 37 in it, it's not worth protecting whatsoever. Beyond that, air defenses are nicely leveled. That's sort of unusual. People will often neglect that. Keep working on the defenses like you're very obviously doing, but looks like you're off to a good start, and keep up the good work. Alright, on to the next base. Alright, here we are with Demaki. Your base, loading it, actually managed to crash my iPad, so congratulations for that. I have no idea what's up with that. I've never seen it happen before. This is a very unusual base, and I very much appreciate it. Unusual bases are awesome. Yeah, this is great. This is really cool. So you've got like two sort of entrance halls. So one's up here on the top left, and one's down here on the bottom right. I'm sure they're spring trapped up, and that's great to do. Good that you've got your Wizard Tower and your Tesla that are under construction. Great to put them right at your entrance hall to slow down giants that are coming in. That's perfect. Interesting to have your storages all in their separate compartments. Clearly very focused on that. That's fine, that's fine. I would consider moving, like, your town hall outside the walls is good, and I agree with that decision. I would consider moving it a couple of squares away, farther, just to, like, be, like, really obvious, saying, like, I don't want to protect this, and I assume you don't have Teslas or bombs near it, but that's good. Like, don't protect it at all. Just keep it away from this cannon, so people, if someone wants to, like, attack it with an archer, they're not sure if that cannon can hit it or not. Spoiler, the cannon can't protect against archers. An archer can outrange it. Just move it, like, 2 more squares outwards. Why is that? Basically, you just want to be like, please take my town hall, please do it, please give me a free shield, because that is really what you're asking. Alright, for other stuff, it's an interesting decision to cause so many gaps in between your buildings. I guess you might have spring traps and bombs spread out in there. I can't say I like that decision quite as much. Maybe you have like a good reason for it, maybe you've got some spring traps in there rather than the entrance halls, but personally I would say probably throw all the spring traps in the entrance halls, so like certainly one here. And probably I would make a gap for a couple more, so maybe move this dark barracks out a bit and put a couple more there. And then I'd probably put the rest over on this side where the wizard is. And then for the gaps in between all of them, I would probably tighten them up. It doesn't really matter a huge amount, except what it does is gives you some extra free walls. The other side effect is putting your defenses closer together means they can cover one another. For example, if this cannon was 2 to the right, 2 down right, by like compacting these all in here, this cannon and this cannon would be much closer and could potentially shoot giants that was pounding on one of the other ones. Just a little example for why you want to keep your defenses close together. You do have interesting symmetry though. Your walls are very well upgraded. I didn't mention them earlier, but yeah, clearly you are a very active player. You're farming a lot, getting a lot of gold, and dumping them into walls. That's a good decision. Let's see how good your unit upgrades are. Healer level 2. Oh yeah, I like that decision. Healer, you know me. I mean healers, so amazing. And underappreciated by some players as well. So I approve of that. I approve of that indeed. Yeah, alright. I like this base. Very interesting, and I really appreciate you submitting this. Always like to see unusual bases. And not even unusual bad, unusual good in this case. Good job, Demaki. Alright, here we are with Amor Forte. Interesting stuff right off the bat. So the center, once again, looks like my old base, but you got a couple problems here. Where to start? Okay, let's start with the wizards. So the wizards are level 2. I think they're both level 2. Yes, they are. That's pretty low level. You're going to want to work on getting these up. Wizards are super critical to protecting your storages because they are your first, last, and only line of defense against mass goblins. Speaking of mass goblins, so you've got these holes in your base on the left and the right. I'm sure it's intentional. I mean, it's not like it's a misplace. You almost certainly put traps in there. I would guess spring traps, but it might be bombs. Either way, I don't agree with that decision. Clearly, you're trying to trap, like, I would guess you're thinking of goblins, also to a lesser degree giants, but the amount of vulnerability it introduces into your base, I say, is certainly not worth it. One thing you certainly are going to want to do is upgrade a couple specific walls to level 7. And those 4 walls are these ones right here. And if you can't guess why, there's a couple great reasons. One, so giants will always go for those if they're like in the mood to like go towards the center, they're going to go for those corner walls. So it's definitely worth the 200,000 gold to upgrade those ones first before like worrying about these gold walls that are all around your base. Next, the new wall breakers are actually a great reason to upgrade these walls because the new wall breakers will absolutely find that little choke point and smash it to bits. You're going to want to try to keep it alive as much as possible. 2 wall breakers at level 5 will take it out, but If only one managed to hit it, it'll be left with more health. So the way the wall breakers work is if they open up a compartment on the right and the compartment on the left, say for this bottom one, next wall breaker that gets put down will go straight for it. Speaking of the new wall breakers, let's zoom out a little bit. So you've got a bunch of walls spread out. This was a great plan, and then last Tuesday, this became a bad plan. The new wall breakers are going to completely ignore these walls. Yeah, not good. So you need to put these walls somewhere useful. I would say potentially double wall up those points that I was talking about earlier with the what were they, level 8 walls, level 7 walls I told you to upgrade to. I would probably just put one of each of the gold walls right here, 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 and here. I mean, that's a pretty easy way to just fortify it a good bit. Tesla's probably right here and right here. I mean, looks pretty obvious. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there's to say. Once again, your walls are pretty well upgraded. I mean, every base we've seen today has had better upgraded walls than my own Town Hall 7, so I'm feeling a little bad. Yeah, it's actually just a good time for me to do a Town Hall 7 just after I reworked my entire derpy base. Yeah, so if you haven't been checking out my base build, I'm releasing my base build currently. So it'll be out, it's been out over the last, it was out yesterday, and the next couple parts will be out over the next couple days. So yeah, I'm thinking about Town Hall 7s a lot these days. Let's check for Clan Castle, guys. I didn't do that on the others. You're halfway full. You want to keep this maxed out. Always good, always good. Beyond that, not bad. Couple things I would change, but not bad. Oh, and obviously the walls are outdated, so that is bad, but you probably already knew about that. Alright then, let's go on to our next base. Alright, here we are with Nuzzle77. So, Nuzzle does say he is currently trying to upgrade as much as possible for going up to Town Hall 8. And he wants some tips on new town build design and the new wall breakers. Okay, I'll see if I can accommodate that. Let's see. Alright, so, interesting. So the good thing about your base is that you've got a lot of compartments. That's good against the new wall breakers for sure. This double wall on the top left, that's worthless. Double wall breakers will splash up both of those walls if they detonate. They now hit too deep if you're not aware. Speaking of that, go check out my new wall breaker video that I just released this morning. I called it the Ultimate Flammy Wallbreaker Guide or something like that. Flammy's Ultimate Wallbreaker Guide. I don't know. Yeah, so that was it. So go check it out. It's pretty extensive. Let's see. Clan Castle, nice and centered. I like to see that. Wizards, you chose to decentralize them a bit. It's an interesting decision. Nice and full. That's good. Dark Elixir. Yeah, you're going to want to keep this Dark Elixir out when it's only got 8. Something I actually actively do is shuffle my storages around based on what's like the most full. So actually your base is pretty good to demonstrate this. So your Dark Elixir and your Elixir are relatively empty, at least compared to your gold. Actually, they're pretty equal. Yeah, gold only has like 40,000 more, but that 40,000 is able to push it over the amount needed to cause a different animation to show up. But my point is, say gold, you had 1 million in each of them, and say elixir, you had 100,000 of each of them. So you got 10 times as much gold. Just take your elixirs and move them to the less defensible spots. So just spread them out more. And then your golds, leave them in the center where it's the most protected. So in my base, like you certainly know you've got spots that are better protected. So like this gold storage is good because it's got both a wizard tower and a mortar next to it. This spot right here is probably the better other spot because it's got a wizard tower and a mortar once again, as well as this mortar can cover all of them. So yeah, just shuffle them around depending on how full they are. Yeah, so like I said, I mentioned the double on the top left. What else should I talk about for the new units? Definitely take this double wall and these extra 3 walls that are way out here on the left and spread them out in here, in this long segment. Basically build some more segments. Why is that? That's because with the new wall breakers, they're going to be targeting pockets, and any completed pocket is going to be a target for them. Basically, the more pockets you have, the harder it is for them to break into the center with their wall breakers. As is, if someone was going to attack you with wall breakers, they would absolutely attack from the top right, unless they're a dumbass. Attacking from the top right, there's one pocket, this one massive pocket that goes all the way from this archer tower up to this archer tower, down to this archer tower. That's one massive section in there. Wall breakers that attack from the top right in here are just going to bust through this and bust through this into the center to get into your storages. So yeah, definitely add some segments in there to distract the wall breakers. Now that'd be a great use for those 10-ish walls that you have. That will add 3 extra wall segments, or they'll add 3 extra divider segments, which creates 4 whole new segments out of that one single segment. Beyond that, your walls are, once again, impressively upgraded. You're going to want to put gold walls where you don't think wall breakers are going to go. I mentioned this briefly before, and that is that level 5 wall breakers, they love to go after, they one-hit gold walls. So people who know that will intentionally aim for gold walls, so such as right here, or right here. If someone double wall breakers through, so they use 2 level 5 wall breakers on the outside wall, then they only need to use 1 on the inside wall, and then bam, they're into your storages. Definitely replace it with gold. For example, putting gold walls in this section isn't as bad because, it's pretty hard to target that with wall breakers. And the difference for giant smacking them down is not much. Beyond that, anything in the corners? You got an army composition with some minions in it. This looks familiar. It's pretty similar to my army composition. You aren't full, though, so I assume you're missing out on some archers. I also like the healer, once again. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, I think this can be it. I like it, Nuzzle. Got some tips right there, but some simple things right there could really change it for the better. Alright then, guys, let's move on to the next one. Alright, here we are with Lucan's 101. Another Town Hall 7 base. It's hiding up at the top there, as you see. A lot of decorations all around, so let me talk about that real briefly. So, if you're not aware, decorations spawn once every 8 hours. And there's a maximum of 40 of them permitted on the map at any given time. So, you're going to want to clean up these, because it sure looks like you've hit that 40 limit. Now, why does that matter? Well, if you manage to remove every decoration before you hit 40, so you don't lose out on any not spawning, the gems that you'll get from that, that's about 135 gems per month for free, on average. Not exactly, it's not guaranteed, but on average, 135 gems. But if you let it fill up like it looks like you're doing, yeah, you won't get those gems. So I highly recommend removing all, well, not even all, just remove them when you get a chance, when you've got a free worker, but just don't let them stack up forever and ever and ever. Yeah, okay, that's that. Okay, let's talk about your base, actually. Interesting. You've got a modified version of my old base in the center. You've got an air defense in the center. I'm questioning the value of that. One thing I'm sure you're thinking is well, I never get attacked by air, so this is a great deterrent. I'm sure that's true. But the thing is, I never got attacked that often by air when I was around 1,000 trophies as a derpy either. So I would question the value of keeping that air defense in the middle. I would think that putting around the outside is fine, especially when you've got 2 and both of them active. Alright, let's talk about other things. You've got sort of interesting rounded corners. So think about these rounded corners. Any sort of diagonal wall, like these ones all marked on your screen now, diagonal walls are inefficient. Why is that? That's because the same number of walls could be used to make this shape right here, in the example of this bottom segment. Why is that important? Well, that means you could fit a whole nother 3x3 building inside your walls in that exact spot for the exact same number of spots that you have. So, generally, that's why I consider it inefficient, and generally don't recommend doing ziggy walls like that. Because you can always put in another building, so you might as well make it square. That said, you might be doing stuff like forcing people onto traps with them, and it's pretty obvious you got a spring trap here and here. Other good spots for spring traps would be here, 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 and here in the corners. Oh, there's another one there as well that I wasn't looking at. So that's more like spring traps than you actually can buy. So I guess that's good to sort of cause people to question their sanity when they're looking at your base, deciding how to attack it. But I generally would close up some of those gaps. It will improve your defenses. So probably this gap is the most important to close, up on the top right. Just because this is it's in the middle of a very long segment, and dividing that into 2 segments would be helpful. You don't have Teslas that are obviously inside your base. I'm not sure where they are, but they might be near the town hall. If they are, I highly recommend moving them. You want to give away the town hall, like I was mentioning earlier. Other unusual thing about your base is you've got this segment on the left right here, where you've got the gold mine and the elixir collector inside. I'm not really sure why you're doing that. That's a unusual decision, to say the least. I can't help but think the walls would be better used in some other way. One possible thing you could do with them was enclose some builder's huts and scatter them next to your walls to soak up wall breaker hits. I'm trying to do that on my new derpy base, and so far, I haven't done any videos, I haven't released any videos of it yet, but it seems to be working pretty well so far. So maybe consider doing that. Check out my base build that's currently going on for derpy, if you are unsure what I meant by that. Overall, though, pretty good, pretty good. A couple unusual features about this, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one, and I think they're going to make this one the final one. Alright guys, here we are with Gov, our last Town Hall 7 base, and he does say that he's got spring traps on the outside of his base at the end of the T's. So those would be here, 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 and here. Those are good spots, I very much appreciate that. You commented about the fact that this is due to the Wallbreaker AI weaknesses. It's not really, that's not why they were attacking those spots. It's more that, yeah, it's a little different. But yes, they do tend to go for those. They tend to go for those spots because they're looking at the buildings behind them. So yes, those are good spots to catch wall breakers, and yeah, I guess that'd be pretty effective. I'd feel like it might be more effective if you can catch giants instead, but I mean, doing that sort of introduces weaknesses into your base as well. Okay, Town Hall 7. You do have a Barbarian King. So, first Barbarian King we've seen, level 1. Good stuff. So, yeah, congratulations on that. You've probably done some nice Dark Elixir farming to get that. Or maybe you paid for it. Either way. Let's see. So, once again, you sort of like some of the last bases we saw. Put your 3 mortars in the center, but then split them up with walls around the sides. That will help against goblins for sure. I like the fact that you got wizards there. You might consider... yeah. So I would definitely consider putting these 2 wizards in the center where these gold storages are. And why is that? Well, that's because, as is, the wizards can't cover your elixir storages. Just look at that range, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think there'd be any downside to that. Also, it would mean your wizards are better able to cover the entire perimeter of your base, rather than sort of just one half. Yeah, okay, let's see. Teslas, it's hard to tell where they are. You got 4 possible spots in each of the corners. Maybe you got a giant bomb in one of them. That would probably be a good decision. If you're, well, a good decision if you're expecting mass goblins. If you're not, then it probably wouldn't be cost effective, but looks like you're a mass gobliner yourself with goblins and barbs. Although it's hard to tell. You're not actually that trained up, so I can't really tell what your composition normally is. You have a very nice spick and span and clean base. So you're getting your gems. Let's see, what else? I mean, seems pretty good. Pretty good. Here's one thing. So you've got 2 segments. You got air defense and the archer tower together, mirror imaging both sides. By putting walls, keeping those 2 segments there together, you're sort of neglecting the rest of your guys, because the segments on the end of your bases has 3 or 4 units, 3 or 4 defenses in them. So you might want to consider moving one of those walls down so it's more evenly split up. Basically, I'm just trying to make your pockets, which have defenses in them, as even as possible. It's not super critical. This is the sort of air defense distribution that I was talking about before, where I think that this distribution is just fine, that I think it'll both scare off most attackers, and if it doesn't, they're not going to be ever scared off. For example, like my healer, like I'll just attack bases like this because I'm not really scared of 2 air defenses. Putting one in the center might make a small difference for me, like that last base that we were looking at a minute ago, but I think that this sort of layout is fine with the air defenses. Let's check your clan castle. Ooh, minions in the clan castle. And I'm not sure I actually agree with the minions. I definitely don't agree with the giants. Minions is just their damage per second isn't great. Especially because lately we've had both dragons and wizards get buffed to now do splash damage. those guys are going to be a lot better in your clan castle, especially the dragons. But if you're not doing wizards or dragons, or I guess balloons, but balloons are so slow, and supply intensive, I would just do mass archer. Or maybe mix in a couple barbarians, but mostly archers is probably going to be your best bet in general. Not sure the sort of situation your clan is, though. Maybe they aren't the best at donating. Maybe they don't listen when you ask for stuff. Some clans are annoying like that. I understand. But you know what? Good overall, Gov. Good overall. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this base build video. So to reiterate and sort of do a recap of how this went, I was reading all these people off of a Facebook post, which I just hid from my page, so it's not like you'll be applying after I've already done my video. It went really well. I found no bases that were destroyed, which is like amazing. Before, at least a third of the bases I found were destroyed. I did not have any trouble finding any of your clans. Normally I would have trouble finding probably 1 in 4, 1 in 5 clans. This went perfectly well. I found everyone on the first try, and you guys had some great comments included in your comments. The other thing is, I liked all your guys' comments, which in the future will mean that you guys just made the video. So look forward to that. I'll be sure to comment on the post and tell you guys that right now. But that's it, guys. So to reiterate, if you want to be included in the next video, you should go to my Facebook page, which is linked in the description of this video and on my channel, and like it. And when you like it, you will get notifications for posts of mine. Some of those posts of mine will be subscriber-based reviews, especially if those posts happened on Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays, which is when I'm doing subscriber-based reviews. So, yeah, go like my Facebook. One thing I will say is I know not everyone's on Facebook, and I do apologize, but basically this is just assisting me in having myself not pull my hair out, because this went so much better than using a form. I just can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. It just works so much better. So if you can't post on Facebook, I do apologize. I'm sorry about that. If you guys want help for your bases, this is what you should do. Instead of submitting an application, which might or might not get responded to within a week or something, you should go do this. You should go and click on the Chat With Me link on my channel. It links you to IRC, or Internet Relay Chat. It's a very simple chat room, and there's a bunch of people on there. Just hang out for 5 minutes. If no one's talking, just say like, hi, hello, anyone there? And within 5 minutes, someone will probably be there. And you can just talk to them, and maybe if they're at a high enough town hall, you can ask them for advice. There's a lot of smart people on there. It's a good tip. Plus, I'm on there all the time, and I do answer base request videos, especially if people post pictures. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Now, if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because obviously subscriber-based reviews, they're only for subscribers. Well, hopefully at least. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your ongoing support. You can show the support by liking and commenting below. And as always, I do appreciate things like shoutouts in clan chat or in global chat. Tell your friends about my channel. I really appreciate it. Alright, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and clash on.